Back with another episode, Jayo Stole Sports. It's your boy Jayo Stole. Back again. Jay Lynch is in the building. What is popping?
Same old, man. Can't complain, man. Just out here, trying to just tread along.
We have hit week 9 in the NFL. And last week, offense was running rampant. We had four quarterbacks throw for 4 touchdowns. Will Levis, the rookie in his first game. That's crazy. First quarterback to do that since Marcus Mariota. And the NFC East quarterbacks threw for 4 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts, Sam Howell, and Dak Prescott. Which one of those NFC East quarterbacks do you think had the best performance, though?
Uh, I would like to say Dak Prescott had the best performance, right? Um, that one really surprised me. I was on the Rams for that game, and that game was over before you know it, right? Him and CD, that connection is just like probably one of the best out there. Um, I wouldn't say it's better than Hurts and AJ Brown, right?
Oof.
AJ Brown's having a, a
Pass.
historical season right
You
now.
can't stop that guy.
You can't stop him right now. So I just think the Rams are a bit of a tougher opponent than the Commanders. So I got to give the edge to Dak, and we'll see if he can back up that performance as he goes into Philadelphia this
Huge
week.
week.
Yeah.
It's about to be a huge week for the NFC East. Honestly, one thing about the Commanders, you have to give them credit. They know how to play Philly. They play them tough. The first matchup they played them, it went to
Yeah.
overtime, and it was literally the last play.
Mm-hmm.
Terry McLaurin got a touchdown from Sam Howell to force it into OT, but eventually the Eagles did win. Okay, anytime we get you on, we're gonna talk about who that nation
Yeah, yeah.
and
You got to check in
Derek
with the who dat.
and Derek Carr pushing the ball down the field. You
Finally.
have to tell me you're feeling better about him. 37 points, two
Mm-hmm.
touchdowns, no
Yeah,
picks.
yeah. I mean, it was a great performance. It really was. Like to see, I guess, them figure it out on the offensive end and utilize the weapons that they do have. Finally, they utilize the speed to heat, getting him downfield and like let him take the
He's a
top off,
he's
off
a
the defense.
burner. He
Yeah,
he he,
so
he reminds he reminds me he reminds me of like a Will Fuller. Just
mm,
that speed. If it's too much, it's too much for those DBs, man.
yeah, again, like it shows what that Saints offense could be capable of. We have a deep threat. We have underneath covered with Michael Thomas and Chris Olave, and then we have Alvin Kamara out the backfield, who is a reception monster. So again, uh, the Saints should be a better team, and hopefully this is a sign of more to come. And hopefully we could take this division by storm and really take over and try to win the division.
So another injury to a starting quarterback, another Achilles injury. Kirk Cousins is done for the season. He was having a pretty good year. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you take out their record, he's leading the league in touchdown passes. Him and Jordan Addison have that connection. They're looking like one of the best 1-2 punches in the league. When you heard the news, did you think your boy Jameis had a chance to, get a shot there? Or
Hey
do you
man,
think like another quarterback was gonna
hey
get
man, when I was on Instagram or saw the rumor mill, I saw it's a possibility. I saw a little graphic of Jambo, Jameis Winston in a Vikings jersey, and my friend sent me in. I'm like, hey man, that would be a good opportunity for him, right? You have those weapons down there in Minnesota. You have Justin Jefferson that's soon to come back. You have Jordan Addison that's now taking over that wide receiver one role.
Mhm.
So now he's comfortable in his rookie season. Um, they're looking like an offense that could be high powered, but they went a different direction and went with Joshua Dobbs, right?
That came out of left field.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all. And good on the Cardinals to be able to flip an asset, right? Like you thought that Joshua Dobbs was just one of those uh, quarterbacks that they were just bringing in just be competitive,
Yeah.
right? And just, compete week in and week out, but not so much do anything, right? Not so much win games. Just, be competitive and not look like you're really tanking, right? You want to be competitive in every week, right?
Yeah. Okay. The Jacksonville Jaguars, one of the hottest teams in the NFL. They're heading into their bye now. How are they so successful with minimal production from Calvin Ridley? In that span, he only has 278 yards and 1 touchdown.
Well, if you look at it, look what Travis Etienne has been doing these past
Yeah,
few weeks, right? He's had what I like to say almost seven touchdowns within 3 games, right? So he's that connection, that Clemson connection, man. You know what I mean? They
yeah.
found it again. So with Etienne taking over, that's a high-powered offense. Like you gotta know that Zay Jones is not even back,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if we're looking at this Jacksonville Jags team, what is the limit for them, right? I think skies is the limit for them. I think they could possibly go for that number one um, spot in the AFC. Really and truly, they don't have the hardest schedule. Being a team in the AFC South, the three teams that aren't the greatest. They played. They probably have a few tough games down the stretch, but really and truly, the way they're looking, the way that offense is looking, and the way their defense is doing what they need to do
Yeah.
to get the ball back in the offensive hands. Hey man, who knows what that Jags team can do? I mean, who knows if they start turning up, then that offense is amazing.
Yeah, originally I had Trevor Lawrence. That was my preseason MVP, but slow start. But he's not even playing the best on his team. Travis
Yeah.
Etienne is playing the best on that team.
Mm-hmm.
He's not fumbling. You see Trevor Lawrence from time to time, he has a fumbling issue, right? But
Mm-hmm.
whoever has Travis Etienne in fantasy is laughing.
Right
Guys,
here,
oh, this
right
guy,
here, baby. You know what it is.
this
All I just
guy.
I know the numbers, man.
Oh my goodness.
Sure.
He's going off, man.
I know.
He's doing his thing. All right. Gonna talk about the rookie who finally got his first win in the NFL, Bryce Young. And last couple weeks he's been looking much better than the start of the season. He's had a touchdown in each of the past 2 games. No picks. Is this a preview for more good things to come, especially with Frank Wright giving up the play calling duties? Do you think it works in Bryce's favor?
Well, it did work last week, right? It didn't much look like the offense was high powered, but it definitely gave the
It was kind of an
team.
ugly game.
Yeah, it was an ugly game,
Yeah.
right? And it's like they're able to squeeze out a field goal win. Um, but again, it's a sign of hope, right? But again, who knows, right? It could have been one of those just coming off the bye week. They felt rested. They felt motivated. They changed some things around and they were able to get that win. I'm not sure how much more success that Panthers team will see this season. That might be one of their only one this season. But hey, who knows?
Yeah. Gonna talk about a quarterback who a few weeks ago I mentioned is a top 10 quarterback, but yeah, that was definitely a bad take on me. Brock Purdy, last 2 games has thrown 3 picks, and he isn't known for that. Like he's right now he's selling. I'm gonna be honest. Like you have all those weapons, but I want to ask I want to ask you about the Niners as an organization. Now that they see some struggles from Purdy, do you think they acted too quickly when it came to trading Trey Lance? Or do you think Purdy, once he gets Debo back from injury, he can get back to his old self?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, it's good that you can take the accountability, to realize your bad takes, but it happens to all of us. But again, yeah, I think with Brock Purdy, I don't think it was so much an error to, I guess, get rid of Trey Lance. They still do have Sam Darnold, so they do have a veteran in case things do go down a dark path, right? So they do have Sam Darnold there that can step in and do some of the things that Brock Purdy currently does for the team, right? So I think they'll be fine. I think Brock Purdy is going through his growing pains as
Mm,
any quarterback would.
yeah.
I think the loss of Debo does uh, hinder some things that they can do within that offense. Uh, when you could just be able to call your Debo package or go into that Debo package, right? It does help a quarterback, right? Because Debo is one of those players you can just give it to him short pass, and he's just getting all that gas and taking it down the field, and it helps simplify things for that quarterback. With having someone like Brandon Ayuk, you now have to look down the field, and I don't think Brock Purdy is a quarterback that can make those deep throws. And we're seeing it, right? He's making these deeper throws and deeper passes, and they're getting picked off, right? So I think when Debo comes back, right, they can just simplify it, right? They can simplify it, giving the ball to CMC, running the ball, and Trent Williams also has been out for them the last 2 games, right? So when Trent Williams also comes back, I think again they'll get back to being that 9 offense. So I don't think there's anything to worry about with Brock Purdy. And I don't think your take was too off. I think he could still be seen as a top 10 quarterback. He just needs his team to
All
get
right, just say you feel bad for me, bro. That's
it
like yo, trust me. Nah, but I'm gonna stick with the Niners. Trade deadline has passed. We've seen guys like Leonard Williams on the
mm-hmm,
Giants. He's gone to the Seahawks now, but Chase Young,
mm-hmm,
he's gonna be on one side, and
yeah.
then Nick Bosa on the other side.
The Buckeyes have reunited.
That's scary. That's
Yeah, man.
different. How good do you think this defense is going to be? Because of course, we know they've been struggling. Is
Mm-hmm.
this the guy they need to get turn things around?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is more so a move for down the road, right?
Mm,
Um, of course, he might make plays in the regular season. He might have an impact. He might lighten the load in terms of teams being able to now double team Nick Bosa. They can't because look at the other side, right? So I just think it balances both sides of the defensive line for the Niners. But again, this move is not for the regular season. This move is for when they
playoffs.
run into the Eagles, and they need to really bunker in and stop that running game or get after a quarterback like Jayo.
The only thing I'll say about this move, yes, on paper, it's magic. The roster looks flawless, but it's a quarterback driven league. If Purdy plays like how he's been playing,
Mm-hmm.
I you know what I'm saying? Like
You
I
gotta
I
pay the
don't
man.
that's just how the NFL works. Doesn't matter how much stars you have on that defense. If you can't get the job done at quarterback, that is going to be a team's downfall.
Mm-hmm.
I got to talk about the Bengals though.
Mm-hmm.
As we mentioned last time, they're on it right now. They're
Yeah.
they're they're back. But do you see them having another Super Bowl run, even with T. Higgins barely doing anything this year? I'm gonna be honest, he hasn't had 100-yard game this whole season.
Yeah. I think it's fine. I think the Bengals are still the Bengals, right? Um, we see a team like the Bengals have slow starts, and then when it comes closer to December, January football, they start to turn it up. And I think that's what's going to start to happen now. I think T. Higgins, as he gets healthy, I think he will start to make plays and be more involved. Um, I just I just think with the Bengals, whoever wants to have their day will have their day, right? They have Joe Mixon, they have Tyler Boyd, they have uh, Ron Chase, T. Higgins. Like it's whoever wants to step up and make plays will eventually make plays for that Bengals offense. Like, I don't think it will be a concern for the Bengals with T. Higgins' slow start. I think he'll eventually get to start making plays again, and I need it for my fantasy team. So, um, but again, we'll see. Right, big matchup.
Yeah,
With the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals, especially with all the history behind that game,
yeah,
right? And he has being one that was involved in that injury, right, to DeMar Hamlin. So
yeah.
It'll be very, very interesting to see how this game plays out. For Cleveland, definitely.
Yeah, but I have T. Higgins on one of my fantasy teams too, and I keep starting him. I keep giving him a chance, and he's failing me. But I'm still gonna keep giving him a chance because this offense, as you said, you don't know whose day it's gonna be. But for the past like 3-4 weeks, it's been all Jamar Chase. But Joe Mixon, he was big stepping into the end zone. You see that?
Yeah, yeah. Big
But that's
step
gonna
in
be a
Joe.
game in our
Yeah.
picks that we're definitely gonna talk about. And actually, we're gonna get into the picks right now. We're gonna save that one for last, though. We're gonna
Mhm.
get into the picks. 3 games. We do it all the time.
Yeah, I did good last week, so I got to keep it going, keep
Yeah,
it rolling.
hey man, everybody is looking forward to this episode because they want to hear what you got to say so they can get into whatever they got, sports interaction,
Hmm.
bet 365, so they
Yeah,
can get
yeah.
their account booming. But yeah, we're gonna start with the early game. Actually,
Germany.
it's not gonna be too early because we're gonna extra hour of sleep this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Daylight savings.
Fall
Gonna
back.
yeah. All right, this game's in Germany. The Chiefs, who only left on Thursday, against the Dolphins, who have been there for an entire week. How much do you think the Chiefs are going to be jet lagged if, and regardless, they're a championship team. Do you think being there for too long is a good thing or bad thing? And do you see this being like the ultimate chess match with those offensive guys, McDaniel and Andy Reid?
Again, I think it's going to affect players differently. Um, I saw MDS had a statement about
Yeah.
the whole being in Germany because it sucks, right? So again, some people aren't going to be too happy about it. Some people might be more on the happy side. They like to travel. They're more, like to be outside their environment,
Mhm.
right? So they might not be so much distracted by the change. But again, who knows, right? That's why it's really tough to call these out of country games, right? So England before, now we're in Germany. It's very interesting in terms of just being in a different space, a different area, right? So again, this one will be an interesting matchup. There's so much storylines, the Tyreek Hill, the Mike McDaniel, Andy Reid, the chess match. This one is very fascinating. I expect a high scoring game.
Mhm.
I think it possibly goes over the total. Um, Mahomes, we saw he was ill last week against Denver. He didn't play too well, so I expect him to come back and have a much better game. I think the Dolphins defense, they did get Jalen Ramsey back.
Yeah.
Um, and he did have an interception against your Patriots, but that's another story. But hey, I think their defense still needs some time. And I like to lean to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in this one. I think they come away in Germany with the win. Andy Reid's gonna be eating nice in Frankfurt. His sausages and beer, he's feeling nice, and he's gonna have a game plan to really win this
Yeah, yeah, I see how you had to poke some fun at my Pats.
game.
I don't know what it is with Mac Jones. He always tries these corners like Trayvon Diggs, Jalen
Mhm,
Ramsey, whoever it is. He always tries them, and I don't know why he does it because he
mhm.
doesn't have the strongest arm. But after a win against the Bills, and then back to regular ways because this
Yep,
is what the Patriots do nowadays, especially with
this is the Patriots way. No.
I know, and I'm not happy about it, but I think what I'm most disappointed about was that silent contract extension that
Hmm.
Belichick received.
Yep.
It yeah, I could get into this. I could go on for days, but there was no need for that. There was no need for that because the offense is not doing enough, and we need a new mind in there. Anyways, talking about offense, let's go to two offensive teams, offensive juggernauts. This is gonna be Fox's game of the week.
Mhm.
Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys. Who do you got in this game?
So it's gonna be a good one. I can't miss a minute of the action in this game. This is one of those games.
Yeah.
It's a big rivalry,
Yep.
divisional game. Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys, part one of the season. Who knows? We might see these teams play each other 3 times this year, right? So this is one of those they really have to be very, I guess, particular about how they go about their play call. They
Mhm.
may not want to give the other team too much, right? Um, but this one's a tough one to call. I believe it's a 3-point spread in Philadelphia. Hmm. I think Dallas has been playing well, and I think Dallas may cover the spread in this one. I
Okay.
don't think they win, but I
Yeah.
think they will cover the spread. I lean to Eagles winning the game, but I think it's going to be a close field goal game. So possibly a push, but possibly an outright Dallas Cowboys win.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be an absolute great game. And you have Dak Prescott throwing to CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Hurts throwing to AJ
AJ
Brown.
Brown,
If you're a young receiver out there, you got to have your eyes on this game. These guys are masters at their craft.
mm-hmm.
AJ Brown, I know Tyreek Hill is leading the NFL in yards, but how
AJ
far
Brown's right
back is
there.
AJ Brown? It's like
Yeah,
they're right there, you
they
know?
both surpassed that thousand yard mark already,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Halfway through the season,
yeah,
so they're both battling for to break records, right?
yeah,
That single season record.
yeah. And again, talking about records, he already broke AJ Brown 6 consecutive games of 125 receiving yards. That's
That's crazy.
ridiculous.
Yeah, in an offense that is supposed to be a running offense, right?
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. Credit to Jalen, like his arm talent. Like you're seeing it. It's progressing game by game. So that's why
Yeah.
the Eagles they're showing why they can easily go back to the Super Bowl and this time maybe even win it. All right, the Sunday nighter, Josh Allen and his Bills against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Who do you got in this game? Can the Buffalo Bills just show that their offense can be more alive? Because
Mhm.
they've been winning some games, but the offense hasn't been looking as flashy as it usually does.
Right. Yeah, and really and truly, I'm gonna ride the hot in the Cincinnati Bengals right now because I really think the Bills just don't have what it takes when it comes to a big game. And I think the Cincinnati Bengals just have their number.
Mm,
They lost out on a chance to beat them and claim the #1 spot in the AFC last year. And I think, and they again got their revenge in the playoffs, knocking them out. And I think they want to make sure they remind them we are a better team than you guys. It's not you. It's not you and the Chiefs. That's the old story. The new story is the Bengals and the Chiefs coming out the AFC. Which team will it be? Right. So I think Bengals are on a hot streak, and I believe they'll continue with this streak, and they're chasing down the Ravens because they want that division.
Speaking about the Bills, they did add two guys. How much of a factor do you think they could play in this game? They added playoff Lenny. They added Rasul Douglas, cornerback from the Packers. How big of an impact can you see them having in this game?
Two key holes that they needed to fill in
They've
their
been
offense.
needing to get a running back.
Yeah, and I think when we previously spoke about the free agents a few years ago,
Yes.
so we did mention playoff Lenny, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to see him land in Buffalo, right? Because we always said that Buffalo is going to need that type of running back, especially when it comes into the playoffs, right? James Cook is good, don't get me wrong, but he's more of like passing it to him
Yeah.
out the backfield and stretch plays, not really running through the tackles, right? You have playoff running, so now you can have a mix of that with James Cook. And I think it'll definitely have an impact, but it's going to take some time. And hopefully they're smart about it because I definitely think that playoff running in the playoffs can be impactful for
Yeah.
this Buffalo Bills team. And I think the problem with this Bills team is they need to stop throwing the ball. They need to stop putting the ball in Josh Allen's hands. And he's always doing too much. He's forced to do too much, and it leads to an interception and it leads
Yeah.
to an injury. He already has a bad shoulder. So how do we protect him? Run the ball, right? Diggs will get his, right? But maybe when you run the ball, we can open up the play action game, and now Diggs and more receivers will have more opportunities, right? So again, I think playoff Lenny was a good pickup for them. We saw him in his shorts and a shirt outside in the freezing cold, man. So he's ready. But yeah, and again, they lost their cornerback, Tre'Davious White,
Yeah.
early in the season for Achilles injury. So they needed to replace that QB spot, and they finally did it. So again, they are filling some necessary gaps in their team, and we'll see what it does for them down the stretch, right? Because it's good for now, but it's more impactful when it comes to playoffs.
All right. We're former players, so obviously we're always going to talk about the players, but we're going to finish off with the Raiders. Josh McDaniels gets fired. Who? Well, first of all, it's about time
Mm-hmm.
because you have Devontae Adams and you're supposed to be this offensive guru. We've seen guys that we didn't know in New England receivers. And now one thing about me, I spread the love. So I gave credit to McDaniels, I gave credit to Belichick, I gave credit to Brady. But game by game, week by week, it's looking like it was TB12 doing the heavy lifting, man.
Yeah.
That's really what it's looking like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Josh McDaniels is out, and we even seen like Devontae Adams, he had two plays where he's wide open. Jimmy G just can't make those throws.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think is going to be the coach next year for the Raiders? We've heard talks about Jim Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard talks of Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator at the Lions. Who do you think is a perfect fit for Raider Nation?
The big market there in Vegas, right? So I think Jim Harbaugh is probably going to take on that job. A lot of things behind the scenes are going on out in Michigan,
Yeah,
so it's not the best place right now to be.
be the
Um,
perfect time
so,
to get out.
so it might be the perfect time for Jim Harbaugh to step aside from that position, and he's done a lot there in Michigan. So again, it'll have a good ending depending on how the season ends up. But I think he's won the division a few times or the conference a few times. I think it's hopefully he can get to the natty, but we'll see. They are a good team.
Yeah.
But I think Jim Harbaugh, time to get back there. So.
Yeah, and again, like he's done great things at Michigan, went to a Super Bowl with the Niners, and the Raiders. These are just guys that the Raiders are. They attract guys like this. They
Yeah.
want like he's all up in the news. Jim Harbaugh's all
Mm-hmm.
up in the news. They don't care if he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
They just this is such a Raiders move to make. So I just feel like it's almost a no-brainer to go for Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's what we got for y'all today. My boy Jay Lynch,
Yeah.
obviously here, dropping another fire episode, man. NFL Week 9. Hopefully you're doing well with your fantasy team. I'll be honest, I had to drop Odell. I gave him
Yeah.
chances, but not anymore. Zero catches, crying on the sideline, complaining. It was about time I had to drop him. Had to.
Man. Happens, man. You gotta make those substitutions in fantasy.
Yeah. No, I couldn't deal with it no more. Again, Lamar Jackson is playing out this world and he's doing all these great things without much from Odell. So it doesn't seem like I need him on my roster, man.
Yeah, not at all.
Gotta go on to greener pastures, but that's a wrap. This is Jayo Stole Sports. Y'all subscribe, y'all like, y'all share. We'll catch y'all next time.
Yes, sir. Peace out.